Hey, how are you guys? I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful night. These are annoying. I'm going to take these out. Hold on. Hey there. It's all crazy. Thumbs up if you can hear us, sister. Hey, Kim. Hello. Hello. Oh, my goodness. Hi, everybody. Hey. Hello. Yes, Canada in the house. Who else is in the house? Hi, Spidey TV series. You guys that want to join tomorrow, we have a special guest that I think you're really going to love tomorrow's Spidey TV series. Hi, DC. Everybody saying so much. Thank you. Just so excited to be with you guys. You're hearing a lot of wind. Of course, Aunt Pat is going to tell me that. Well, it's windy where I am, Aunt Pat. Do y'all want me to go inside? Aunt Pat said it's a lot of wind. Is it disturbing to you? Hey, Philly. Hey, Maryland, DC, Fort Lauderdale, Houston, Spring City, PA in the house, H-Town. Okay, Allison said she likes the background behind me. So, hi, New Orleans, Florida Keys. Wait, no, Fort Myers in Florida. There you go. So what are you thinking, guys? Aunt Pat said yes. Yes, move. Aunt Pat, stop hating because I'm out here at the lake. All right, Vegas. Hey, Vegas. All right, so it's a lot of wind, says Boston. Well, if Boston says it's windy, then I guess we're going to have to just move. So I'll still find another nice... We'll still stay outside. How about that? But we'll just be out on the deck area instead of right here on the water, okay? All right, stay out there. Hi from England. Hello, mate. That's all I got. Hey, Connecticut. The lake scene is good. Okay, but everybody was talking about the wind, so we'll just walk and move. Okay, it's getting better. Great lighting. Thank you. We have God to thank for this beautiful lighting because it's sunset time out here. In the movie business, we call this magic hour. Is it warm enough to swim? Not yet. No, it's not. Say hi to Christopher with another fantastic fire. But no, it's not warm enough to swim. Somebody said just need something to keep the wind from hitting the mic. I don't know what kind of production setup you think I got going on here. I ain't got no windscreen and microphones and but we'll just come over here and then we'll still have the beautiful background. So you're good on the wind now. Well, I would hope so. I'm almost in the house. So as Quincy said last night, did you guys enjoy seeing the family last night? It was fun. But as Quincy said, the word of the night, or the word for today's countdown, will be God. Let me get my son, find my light. Y'all know you have always heard me say, I will always find my light. Okay. Ooh, that's pretty. Yeah, that's good right there. Brows, hair. Okay. So, tonight is my birthday eve, and so grateful for life. And so when Quincy said the word would be God, to add to the list of things that I love, we wanted to add something really special, and Quincy, the 6-year-old, popped up with that, and we went with it. And I'm going to move this over a bit. Hold on, guys. So, there we go. Oh, yes, baby. Oh, yes, child. So I'm so grateful for my very life and for God blessing me with life and breath, as I've been saying, sacred breath. And I'm grateful for my family and my friends. I'm grateful to be able to share the gifts that have been a part of my life with all of you. Okay, God is relighting, so I must move to keep finding my light. But anyway, let's just dive right in, shall we, and get to our special guest. It's a twofer, and so one is a just a little bit of a just a little appetizer, okay? Just a little appetizer before we get to it. So hold on, let me get our dude in here. Hold on, let's see. Where are you? Where are you? Are you here yet? Are you in the room where it happens, sir? Are you in the room where it happens? Let's see. While I'm still in search for the gentleman that is going to kick us off for this evening. So he and I go way back to the way back to the way back. Great human being. Give you a clue. Give you a clue. Well, you know what? If you've been paying attention in the last week of the countdown, I mentioned that this particular person was at my 12th birthday party. Allison, come on now. You can't just jump all on like that. And he gave me an alarm clock and I think a Rick James record. So let's see if he's in the room. Oh Lord, y'all really been listening, huh? Y'all really been listening. Oh my goodness gracious. Damon Wilson. I'm so done with you for that. No, but little trivia night. Okay, here we go. What show did Damon Wilson play my father on? Okay, here he comes. Here he comes. Here he goes. It's like Christmas every time this happens. Hey!
What's up, girl?
Move over. There
Yeah,
get that light from behind.
you get the light. Yeah, here we go. Now I'm in the light. Hey!
Todd Bridges is in the house. And yes, Emily said, baby, I'm back. I'm sorry if other people said, baby, I'm back. We were playing a little trivia game before you got on here.
Oh, you were?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, may I present the one and only, the amazing, one of my oldest and dearest friends, Mr. Todd Anthony Bridges in the house.
Oh, Kim, I love you so much. Thank you so much for having me on. You know, I enjoy being anywhere with you and around you. You're one of my favorite people. You're one of the people that stuck by me no matter what. You make me want to cry when I think about that. You came to see me in bad situations, but I always knew you were there for me. And you were always not just a friend, but you're a family, and you loved me, and I knew I loved you. And I knew that it would always be okay as long as I knew I had you there. And it always worked out great. That's the great part about it, you know? Because you're the one that really knew who I was, you know?
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Todd. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I need you to clear a couple of things up for me. And I know we only got a couple of minutes because it's a two for tonight on the eve of my birthday. Okay. When I turned 12 and you came to my birthday party, remember that company redid a whole bunch of our houses and rooms and stuff like that. And so they redid my garage in Burbank to the disco roller rink and all of that.
Yeah.
My mind says you gave me an alarm clock and a Rick James album.
I gave you a Rick James album. And you were so young, but I gave you a Rick James album, which was like by far too old for you. But my mom was like, why are you giving a Rick James? Because it's Rick James. And I wanted to say, because it's Rick James, bleep. I want you, because it was Rick James. You know what I mean? So I knew that you liked Rick James. And I mean, everybody liked Rick James back then. So I knew I had to give you that album. I knew you'd like it. And I don't know if your mother would love it. I don't know if Chip wanted you to listen to it, but I still gave it to you. You know, I had to fight my mom to even give. You know how our mothers were. I had to fight my mama to even give it to you. You know what I mean? That was even a torment, you know? She wanted to kill me for getting that album for you.
Hilarious. I told y'all, I said Todd gave me, and I couldn't remember if it was both, but I knew it was one of the two. I don't know where I got the alarm clock from. Okay, here's another thing I need you to clear up. And I'm kind of gonna put you on the spot for just a minute, but
That's okay. I don't mind.
you can always plead the fifth. You can
Oh,
always.
I don't plead the fifth. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Why you instantly put me in the little sister zone? Why you?
Okay, let me tell you what happened. Okay.
Do tell.
When
we all
were on
know.
Yeah, when we were on the set, I have a 16. You had to be 12. I believe that would have been because if you're the age you are now, I'm 5 years older. So
well, I was 9 when we met because Facts was a spin-off in an episode of Different Strokes.
Yes.
The pilot. So I was 9.
So you don't think it would have been kind of weird for a 16-year-old going down to 13 or 12? I think it would have been a little weird. So I thought it was a little weird, but I was always going for women that were like older. But let me tell you what happened though. Let me just lay it out.
Tell me what
when you grew up, I was like, damn, I missed my chance. When you married that dude, I was like, dang it. I should have kept moving in the right direction because now it's all the same age. You know what I mean? It's all the same age. It don't matter. And I was like, dang it. I said, somebody that really, really would have loved me for me. Now she got another brother. So I was thinking, can I get out there and possibly catch him? And I was like, no, I can't do that. I want to go to prison. But speaking of that, I want to say this. Kim came to see me when I was in jail. And Kim, that broke my heart because I didn't want you to see me there. But at the same time, it filled my heart full of love and joy because not many people did, but you were one of those people who stayed there with me. And that really made me feel good because I got out of all that. Because everybody knew I wasn't like that. I was just caught up in a bad situation. Yeah. But let me tell you, you only were in the little sister category at that time. Now you married, but you ain't in the little sister category no more. I tell you that. That's for dang sure. Tell your husband I said he's lucky.
I will. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that. Thank you. Do you remember when this was before Facts of Life and Different Strokes even?
Yes.
I'm gonna take it way back. Y'all got to really know me and Todd to know this info right here. Hi, Australia. Cheers, baby. Harlem Camera Company. Ain't you supposed to be live right now doing your joint? Isn't it Tuesday night? Monday. No, it's Monday. It's Monday. She's on Tuesday. Wait, what's today?
Yeah. Today's Monday.
It is Monday. Child, that quarantine calendar is just...
Oh, I know.
Wait a minute.
I just don't forget.
My sister Alexis just said, oh, this will be a conversation when this live is over. My sister Alexis, Lord. Yes, I know, Lex. Okay, so when we were on, you were on Fish.
Yes.
And
you were on
Baby I'm Back.
Baby I'm Back. Yes.
Did we just snatched everybody's whole childhood?
There's a picture of us with me sitting like this with that big ass collar, and you were very young, so you had the no teeth yet. You hadn't got your adult teeth yet, and you're like, and I'm like, and my collar was out to here. Oh my gosh, that was crazy.
Oh my goodness, yes, I still have that picture, so I'm gonna post it for you guys. So Todd and I were the grand marshals of the Watts Christmas Parade.
Oh yeah.
And people were so happy to see Todd Bridges. And girl fans in the 70s and 80s totally different than dude fans. So
yeah.
I know somebody said, damn, Kim, you just aged us. I know I did. But notice I aged y'all, not us.
Exactly. I'm only 28 and you just turned 25. So
that's right. Exactly. But so the girl fans went crazy over Todd. I mean, lost their whole mind. And so, when you're in a parade and you're the grand marshal, you're sitting on the back of the convertible and you're waving at
Yep.
These girls rushed to the car and tried to pull Todd out the car.
Yeah.
You remember that?
But you know which one got me the worst was the Bub Billigins parade in Chicago. When that little girl ran up and socked you in the eye and said, "You sit next to my boyfriend." I was like, I felt so bad. I was like, oh my God, she just hit Kim and the security attacked her and grabbed her. but I was like, she just punched Kim in the eye. What is she doing? You were like, yeah. And you looked and you were like, I still love you, baby. Don't worry about it. You weren't mad at me when you was mad at the girl. But I was like, oh my God, she hit Kim. And I felt so bad and so horrible that that little girl did that.
Listen, ain't nobody ever hit you over me. See what I mean?
Stop that now.
Female fans, and dude fans, dude and little boys will play it cool. So
yeah, they would.
Somebody said sorry on behalf of Chi-Town. That's all right. We still love Chi-Town.
Yeah, we still love it. Don't matter. It just happened at the Bud Billikens parade. Okay. I ain't been there since. No, I was kidding.
Okay, so now fast forward to we used to do Right On magazine all the time.
Yes, we sure did.
And
do you remember the one we did at Marina Del Rey?
That was the cover, and that was one of the
first
magazine covers that I was on.
Sure was.
And
yes.
I had arrived, baby. I was on a cover, and not just any cover. Yep. I was on the cover of Right On with Todd Bridges.
See, and when I see now, you have to understand now. When I was you were like 13 or something like that, and I'm looking at you, and I'm saying to myself, if I thought about anything bad, it was bad because you were so young. But if you had been in your 40s and I was in my 50s, I'd have been like, excuse me, can we go to dinner tonight? You know, me and you. See, that would have happened. That would have happened at that age.
Oh, how nice.
But you know, the age in between there, people look at me and going, Todd, are you crazy? And we're like, huh? What? Kim's great, but what made us so close though was we were the first two black kids that started really working on a lot of stuff together. It was me and you.
Yeah.
And you know, I tell people all the time that we couldn't go to certain parties.
Yeah.
We had to go to other parties together as a unit, you know, all the time. And we were always together everywhere. Our mothers were together, and I loved Chip. Chip was the best. My mother was the best. Yeah. You know, we had mothers that really cared about us, and that, you know, if we got out of line, we'd be like, whoop. Be like, oh, okay, we back in line, you know, real fast. You know, our mothers were very strong in that way.
Absolutely.
But as far as you go, I mean, God, Kim, we've been knowing so long, and it's been such greatness. And the things that you've always said about me, you always knew who I really, really was. And you knew that I didn't deserve as much as I got, you know, because I was being destroyed by the media all the time. No matter, even if I did anything good, it didn't matter. Yeah. You know, it was always something bad. And, you know, and then we knew who the real terror on the set was. We knew who that was. I won't mention no names, but we knew who that was. You know, I was the one always cheerful, having fun. We knew somebody was just crazy and wild. But, you know, and the thing about it was, don't think that I didn't have fun with having all you girls there. Because I was the oldest boy, and I had nothing but girls. Yep. You know, and it was pretty fun. It was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun for me back then.
Dude, I love you so much. Thank you for being on
the
Countdown.
Kim.
I'm so
not a problem.
Thankful for you. And
happy birthday, girl. I can't believe you're having a birthday again. You're going to have many, many more. Amen. And you know something, the crazy part? Mine's in the same month, too.
Listen, I was just going to say, and happy early birthday to you, my dear friend.
Thank you. I'm turning 35. You 25. That's perfect. So tell your husband to get lost. It's time for us to get together. He need to go and take a trip somewhere. You know, tell him he's in a lake out there. I'm going to have to put some cement shoes on, then sink him. I'm sorry. You got to go. Got to go. And you old enough now. No, I'm just kidding. I know. I think he's a great guy, and you're a wonderful woman for marrying such a good guy. I'm proud of that you married such a wonderful guy, and you deserve it. You're the best, Kim.
Thank you.
And I love you so much with all my heart, forever.
I love you too.
Forever.
Family, my love. Thanks for jumping
I will,
on
sweetie.
here, baby.
You know it. I love you, sweetie. Good night. And you look beautiful.
Thank you.
Absolutely beautiful.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome, sweetie.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, baby. Talk to you soon.
Love you, honey. Talk to you
too.
soon. Bye, sweetie.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
The Rick James album, family. Woo. Okay, y'all. That was an unexpected little treat. That was the prelude, the appetizer, like I said, for the final night of the countdown, because of course tomorrow is the 12th and my birthday. Alexis, Alexis, please, Jesus, Alexis. Let me just go ahead on. Dude, are you in here? Are you here yet? You said Alexis is a mess. Y'all are right. But anyway, Yeah, Todd and I go way back to the way back. All right, I'm gonna just dive right on in and get right to it because we have a lot to cover with this person. I wanted to close out the countdown with this gentleman because shit, look how you're looking. Malcolm Jamal Warner is on the countdown, family. Look how you're looking. What? Lean this way so the comments ain't all over your face. Lean on over. Come on. Yeah, I'm gonna direct this. Mal Jam.
What it do?
Now listen, let me tell y'all right now. We appreciate all the love. I promise. Alexis said, "Oh shit." Now, let me tell y'all, yes, he is fine. Yes, and he's good people too. Heart like a superhero. But listen, as much as we love playing iconic characters that are staples in your either childhood or in your television history, please don't flood the comments with our character names. We are grown folks. We love y'all. I swear we do. I swear for God we do. But we grown. We really do love it when y'all call us Kim and Malcolm, Kimmy, Maljam, any of that.
Hell, just call me Kim. I don't care.
So ignorant. So ignorant. Okay, where would you like to start? Because we got it's a lot of ground to cover. It's so y'all don't even know as deep that right here. So
well, you know what? Actually, I'll start just by doing like the fanboy thing. Like I clicked on, I was like, oh wow, she got Todd on here. Because obviously just growing up and before Cosby, like you and Todd were like y'all were the shit, and you guys were the I tend to say we were the class right after you guys. So it's like, I obviously, knowing you, but also, having grown up watching, Different Strokes and Facts of Life, you guys were the class ahead of us. And then when Cosby came, it was like, oh, wow, actually, like, oh, shit, I'm here. So it was really surreal to see. Like, I remember you and Todd on Right On Magazine. That was like our thing. So that was just like so surreal and just took me way back.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of glad to be on the same night as Todd.
Well, and that was such as I was saying, it was an unexpected little piece of happiness and joy because, I knew when I asked you about the 11th and you said, can we do the 11th? And I was like, perfect. Because I really wanted you to close out the countdown. After Alexis and Yvette Nicole, which was last Saturday night, Blair kind of kicked it off with the dude not related to me, but just know me forever. And you know how I kind of always have you and Blair. Y'all are just the bookends to my life in so many ways. Sure. And so for you to him to kind of kick things off to a certain extent with the countdown and you to finish it off is just, it's perfection. It's absolute perfection. So I don't even remember. Malcolm is one of those people in my life where it's almost like breathing. Like I don't remember learning to breathe. I just breathe. I don't remember meeting Malcolm. Malcolm has just been in my life forever. Forever. So I want to say when Mom started doing theater productions in LA. Yeah, and you're getting so much love, by the way. Yeah, you're getting love for The Resident. You're getting love for how you look. You're getting love for, I'm going to just leave it like that.
I'll take it.
You getting good love, you getting professional love, you getting nasty love, you getting all kind of love.
I will take it. I will take it.
But,
thank you, by the way, everybody. Thank you. Thank you.
What is your and you know, I meant to text you earlier to ask you, was there anything that was off the table? Just we're not going to touch on.
No, we're good.
All right, cool. So, what is your earliest memory of me? And then you touched on your earliest memory of me, but of meeting me.
You know, it's funny. So I don't particularly. I don't know if I remember like what that first moment was, but the first moment that I can remember was at the Inglewood Playhouse. Because, you know, Chip was doing classes, Gary was doing, you know, classes and plays. And I remember being in, and we had met before. And I don't know if I had just made the connection or something, but I remember it was during the day. You were on stage. I can't remember if you were talking to your mom or something. You were on stage, and I was walking out the door. And I walked out the door, and I turned around. I said, "Bye, Tootie," and walked out. And mind you, so we were, I was like 11, like 10 or 11. Yeah.
What I got on you? Do I have 2 or 3 on you?
I'm looking at 50 this year.
Okay, I got 1 on you. All right.
Okay. Wow. Are you serious?
Yes.
No, I mean,
where you going with this?
When we were kids, you just seemed so much older.
Why is that, Malcolm?
When we were kids.
Why is that, Malcolm?
When we were kids?
Yes.
Oh, who's that?
Sebastian. That's the grown voice you heard.
Who that dude over there? But yeah, I was 10. I think when I started at the Playhouse, I was 9. But for some reason, I feel like I didn't see you until we were doing Babes, the second play. But yeah, but I remember I was like, "Bye, Tootie," which again was my fanboy moment. But you know, the thing that I used to talk about a lot is, you know, one of the reasons I handle, you know, celebrity the way I do has a lot to do with you, because I remember we would go out. Specifically, we were at Universal Studios, and it was me, you. I don't know. I want to say there were 3 of us. There was another little girl, and I don't remember what we were. It must have been an autograph signing or something, because you had a black and white 8x10 that you'd been signing. And I just remember, you know, because now that I was in theater, and I just remember like looking at you and just seeing how nice you were, you know, to everybody who came up to you. I remember we were walking and somebody stopped you for an autograph, and you were just really nice. And I remember saying, when I get on TV, I'm gonna treat my fans just like him. And like 2 or 3 years later, I was on TV treating my fans just like him.
Wow.
But I think one of the reasons people who get into this business and they get any kind of taste of success, and then just kind of, you know, go left or really start to feel themselves, I firmly believe that a lot of that is because that's how, you know, people think that, you know, that's how people think they're supposed to act when they get to a certain place.
Yes.
That's who they've been exposed to. So that's all they know. People, you know, become famous and they have, even if it's not conscious,
right,
it just becomes a thing.
Yes.
And I think I've been very, very fortunate and very blessed to be around you, and to be exposed to people who handle their celebrity, you know, in a professional manner, because basically it's a job.
Yeah.
You know, I try to tell people, you know, that the job of being a celebrity is very different from the job of being an actor. When you're an actor, they yell cut, you go home, your job is over. But when you live in the public eye, you are literally working 24/7. The moment you step out of your house, there's a uniform we put on. There's the not the mask, but the uniform that we put on. Mm-hmm. So I always liken celebrityhood to a job. Fortunately, that's part of, the dealing with people is a part of the job that I like, and I happen to be good at it.
Yes,
but
yes, you are.
I tell people, no matter how much you love your job, there are some days you wake up and you don't feel like going to work. But you get your ass up and you go anyway. And that's the difference between a worker and a professional.
Speak on it, brother.
You know?
Yes.
So being exposed to you, being exposed to Mr. Cosby, being exposed to people who understood, and knew how to handle the job of being a celebrity, I think you guys have had a huge impact on how I handle that part of the gig. And at the end of the day, if I really don't feel like working, I just don't go out.
Yeah.
There's always that option. But to get into the people, I'm out and people are bothering me and yada, 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 it's like, no, that's part of the gig. So once you wrap your head around that's part of the gig, then you understand that's part of the gig and you treat it accordingly.
Yeah. No, very true. Very true. So when you did Cosby, it took you to New York for several years. And we first connected, like you said, Inglewood Playhouse, Inner City Cultural Center. We were doing plays. Mom was doing a lot of plays locally in LA. And because we were
Rainbow
both
Connection.
Ooh.
Right,
oh
right.
Wow. Rainbow Connection, Bruce Heath. Yes.
Yeah.
Bruce Heath is a choreographer, a Broadway choreographer and dancer, and he and my mom had partnered to open up a acting and dance school in LA, right at Pico and La Brea, where when the LA riots happened. World on Wheels. Ooh. Please shut up. And so right where the LA riots had happened, right in that very like intersection that was like for real, the hot spot. That's where the studio was. So, and it was called Rainbow Connection. So that's that. National Black Theater Festival. Somebody just said that that they saw one of us there because we both have been. But Malcolm and I, we would do these plays together, and that's kind of how the friendship started. Fast forward to then both of us being on NBC. And so even though I was doing facts in LA, Kim is not like one of your aunties. Oh, I'm gonna catch that. Oh, I laugh like one of your aunties. Okay, that's all right. That's all right. They know, baby. Just the hashtag no aunties on
right.
So when Malcolm and I would see each other at NBC events, that was, somebody just said, love me some World on Wheels. So Malcolm and I would see each other at these events for NBC, these NBC specials. We also did some Dick Clark specials.
Yeah.
What you want to do, player? See right here, Kim, you are our auntie. Honey D,
oh, wow.
No, I'm not. I'm big sis. Amen. So we would do these. We would do these specials, and that would be, like when we would get to see each other. What do you remember about doing the wonderful Dick Clark specials?
I gotta back up though.
Okay, back it on up.
We gotta go back to In Command of the Children.
Okay, go ahead on.
So, there comes a time in every young boy's life where you have that huge crush, and the huge crush becomes like, I'm in love, and everything's cool because you got the closeness, you have the intimacy. She knows you're a good guy, and in your head, you just see this thing working perfectly. And then you tell her how you feel about her.
Oh, you're so wrong for setting it up like this. Oh, my God.
And she says, but Malcolm, you're my little brother. Those are crushing words. That's a crushing moment. Every young boy's got to go through it. And I went through it. I was 12.
And I was a whopping 13.
Right. I don't know. I don't know why I thought you were like 15, but yeah. Yeah.
Well, you know, and somebody
And then
even said
wait.
mature. Huh?
Then the worst part of it though, because we're doing Nicki Minaj the Children.
Which
and
was the
Kim's
play that my mom wrote.
Yes. And Kim's boyfriend was one of the leads of the play. So I had to always watch Kim and this dude all, you know, and she was taller than Kim, so Kim would just look up at him and just smile and just be all giddy. I'd be looking at them like, fuck y'all.
You got me snorting.
I used to sit in my room and play Michael Jackson's Lady of My Life.
Oh my God.
And sit in my room with the lights off and just sing the song and cry tears.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
And you know, you probably saw it. Todd and I were talking about how I got put into the little sister zone.
Right.
And you know, it's funny because you just have that perception of age, and you have this perception of, you know, oh, this is my little brother, this is my little sister, and it's like it's so marginal. But during that time, that's like what your thinking is, you know. And even with the whole hi Dion Deasy, and even the whole idea of girls mature a little bit faster than boys or whatever, you know. And then it was and he told me this, y'all, decades later. He held on to this one for a minute.
I did. But it's all right, because I got older.
You know what?
So I'm good.
Indeed. So somebody said, Kim, I didn't know you were a heartbreaker. I didn't know that.
Man, oh my man.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
Anyway, shall we fast forward now?
Okay.
One of my most treasured memories with you, and I have a gagillion. Alexis said, hold on, y'all. Alexis is so damn funny. She said, I literally feel like the little sister in Coming to America right now. You were his Lisa. I'm done. Throw the whole live away.
Alexis, you're stupid.
So dumb.
You are
so dumb.
Stupid. STOOPID.
Okay, we, Alexis, you done took my whole thought. So we were in one of my favorite memories of you, and I still have this that you gave me all these decades later. When I got to high school, so when Nancy graduated from high school, but we were still doing Facts of Life, I ended up having to be with the tutor. And I didn't want to be there, you know, by myself in the schoolroom at the studio. And so I also wanted to make sure I experienced high school and had a normal childhood. And so I went to my regular high school, Burbank High, and I was part of student body. I was in drama, just all kinds of things. Really took a deep dive into all things high school for half of my junior and all of my senior year. So when I did the school play, The Miracle Worker.
Oh, wow.
And Malcolm came to see the play. And y'all, you would have thought that this was me doing something on Broadway. I mean, somebody said you mentioned this in your book. Exactly. This is how much this memory means to me. Somebody said Alexis needs a timeout. So I mean, you would have thought it was that important to Malcolm that's why I say it was like I was doing a Broadway show. Not because because I mean, I knew I was in a high school production. We were doing Facts of Life at the time. So I was a bona fide actor, a professional actor. And yet it was so great to be a part of this high school production. But Malcolm, and again, he didn't live in LA. So this was one of the times that he was in LA, and it meant so much to him to support me. Like when we go and support Blair on Broadway, or I mean, it really meant so much. And he came and he brought me flowers and he brought me this card. And he's one of maybe two people on the planet that calls me by my middle name. And he put that on the card and he wrote the nicest thing about supporting me in the play. Malcolm has, I don't know why it is, but Malcolm, he has the most distinguishable handwriting. And I've kept that card all these years.
Wow, that's dope.
And I will never forget how important that event I will never forget how important supporting me was to you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, that was funny. So I was about to say that's the first time I've ever seen you on stage, but no, that was the first time I'd ever seen you on stage when I wasn't on stage with you.
Got you. Uh-huh.
You know, and you know, and you know, by this time understanding how important theater is to television actors.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was important for me to support that, and again, it was still part of still being inspired by you, you know. So just all of that was just, you know, and I've got my life is so wonderful. I'm so blessed. I have, you know, my entire career, I've been in a really wonderful position to be able to be fans of other people, but have access to these people and to be able to tell them how big a fan I am.
Yes.
You know, so it's like being able to meet, like, you know, everybody you love.
Yes.
So, you know, for me, being able to, you know, to understanding the importance and significance of support, but also you being an inspiration, also, you know, being your friend, brother, but also being a fan, like being able to give all of that to you was very important to me. You know, and it's as important as it is to me as an adult to be able to tell people, you know, I really dig your work, you know, and knowing that, you know, we receive love all the time, but when you know, receive love from an unexpected source, not that my love is any more significant than anybody else's, but like when it comes from someone you don't necessarily expect, and it's kind of like, oh wow, you know, making an impact on people who watch your work. I guess sometimes you forget or don't realize you can also make an impact on peers who enjoy your work.
Yes.
You know, so it's important for me to be able to, like, to be a peer, be like, yo, and I hate a lot of shit.
Oh yeah.
A whole lot of motherfuckers I don't like.
We just don't throw it out there.
Yeah.
Because it's the race or the culture or the gender or just we just supposed. We ain't them people. We not.
Yeah. So to be able to, you know, to actually amongst all the bullshit, to see something you love. Yeah. And then to be able to have access to that person to express that. It's, you know, I've been on the receiving end of that as well. So I understand the importance on both sides. And in times where I may not have gone up to someone for whatever reason, you know, nervous or whatever, I would walk away saying, wow, I just robbed both of us of an opportunity to have an experience. So now I try to be very, very conscious of, okay, if I'm, you know, have access to someone who I really dig, I don't want to rob myself of the experience of giving that love. And I don't want to rob that person the experience of actually receiving that love from, again, from a peer.
Yeah. I mean, it's when people recognize your effort and your work, it's really spectacular. But when your peers do, and not just as far as artists go, I mean, you know, you could be in accounting at work and let another one of your fellow accountants or somebody in that lane with you say, hey, you know, the way you did that report, I really, that presentation was really good, whatever it may be. You know, you could be a teacher, and somebody say to you, hey, the way that I saw you connect with your kids on that lesson, that was great. So it doesn't matter what it is, you know, but just being able to, that two-way street of giving and receiving support, you don't realize how important and how special that is. So like I said, just always something that's one of those that's stamped in my whole entire world.
That's dope. Thank you for sharing that.
Do you remember when we worked with Tony Randall, the great Tony Randall, on the Disney on the Dick Clark Disney special? And I have to very quickly give a shout out for Dick Clark, because he was one of my mentors as a producer and as a media mogul. And when I was at Pepperdine, my senior year, one of our assignments was to try to reach out to a mentor in whoever is your field of study and see if you can do an interview with them. And we were put in teams of 5 in our classroom. And so our team, everybody said, yeah, Dick Clark. And so I called, and he says, yeah, come on down to the office and I'll talk with you guys. And it was just so great. I had done several specials with him, did a bloopers, practical jokes thing. But he was so nice. And, you know, you always talk about the influence that I had on you as a celebrity and how to treat fans. But he really was one of those that had an impact on me, just how to be in the industry, you know. And he wasn't perfect, you know, but he was just someone that I really looked up to, and you know, it was just very, very his life and his work means a lot, and was such a, you know, an important part of my development. All that to say, we did a Dick Clark Disney special with Tony Randall, and I remember that, and we have a really great picture of that. For those of you who are just jumping on, this is the Birthday Vibes Countdown. Malcolm Jamal Warner is joining me. For those of you who have jumped on, again, we love all of the iconic characters we've been blessed to play, but please do your best to call us Kim and Malcolm. We love that you love the characters. We truly do. We mean no disrespect, but we do love being grown and recognized for, you know, who we are and all of our accomplishments that we've been blessed with. That said, you know, just go ahead and you know, do you, boo-boo, but I just want to put that out there. So the Dick Clark special, Disney, Tony Randall, go.
Wow, really?
Well, or not. There's other things we can talk about.
I mean,
yeah, let's move on.
I'm just saying, there's a moment I remember that, you know, might not be appropriate.
Yeah, let's move on. Where would you like to go next?
I don't know, career-wise, personal.
Well, personal. Malcolm and I have the greatest conversations about just, we have very unique conversations because he and I have shared things that few people on earth have shared, meaning there are things that that might get under our skin that nobody else, you know, that you can't really say, oh, this gets under my skin, because to anybody else it may sound like you're taking something for granted. You may sound like you're ungrateful, and it's just not the case. You know, I remember, just being transparent, I remember when Sebastian was born, and we were on the cover of a magazine, and they said a cutie for Tootie. And I was so angry. I was so annoyed that here I am, a grown woman, and you're celebrating me having my first child and being over 35. I mean, there were so many other things. I had done a whole nother hit series. There were so many things that, you know, Kim Fields, and yet that was the screaming headline. And I called you, and you understood, because I couldn't share that with anybody else. They wouldn't get it.
Yeah. I'd be like, what are you talking about? They'd be like, what are you complaining about? Yeah, they wouldn't get it. Yeah. I forgot about that. I think one of the things that's been, you know, really wonderful about our relationship is having a relationship pre, you know, for me, pre-Cosby. And you're knowing that because our relationship has been, you know, since pre-Cosby, there's always, you know, a certain bond that, you know, that we've grown up literally from teenagers through adults having.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that bond. I appreciate our being able to, you know, share things on so many different levels and so many different intimate levels,
Yeah.
because we've known each other for way more than half of our lives.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
just like this, this intimate, you know, family stuff that we, you know about, you know, through each other because we were sharing them, you know, during those times.
Yeah.
So we have, you know, obviously a really special relationship and a really special bond that I appreciate.
Yeah. Me too. No, me too. Forgive me for traveling right now, family. I'm trying to get to my battery charger to keep the party train going here. You know, you talk about us being able to share things on such a very private level. And we both have experienced love and heartbreak. And I'm not talking about, you know, the first crush and things like that. I mean, like the for real. You know, when you a grown ass man and you a grown ass woman, and you're dealing with that degree of heartache and heartbreak, the highs and lows of love and relationship. Thank you for helping me navigate through that.
Thank you for trusting me. You know, and I'm glad to have been able to, you know, to be that for you,
Mm-hmm.
to be an outlet, to be someone that you know that you can inherently trust.
Yeah.
You know, that's important. It's important to have that, and it's important to be able to be that for someone. And then that becomes an honor because, you know, this person is sharing with you, you know, their most intimate, their most valuable, their most treasured everything. And that person is entrusting that.
Yes.
With you.
Right.
That's a huge honor, man.
Mm.
So thank you for allowing me to be able to be of service in that way.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
without sounding, you know, I'm not trying to deflect or sound corny or anything.
Right,
but
right.
It really is an honor to be able to do that. Be of service.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. And it's not something that either of us take lightly, guys. You know, some of the best writing as poets, because both Malcolm and I are poets, and we're so in tune and aligned in alignment with one another. He sent me a piece that he had just written on the heels. I mean, I had barely hit the last 2 or 3 letters in the piece that I was writing. And we sent it to each other. It was like, oh my gosh. And Alexis, I'm gonna need you to
Alexis, you're on timeout. You didn't get the memo.
but we've how much of you do you allow into your writing as a poet? Is it all of you? I know for me, it's all of me. It's doing my poetry. And you remember when I started, and how did you feel vulnerable at first, because we're so used to being characters saying other people's words. So for me, when I started, not became, because I think I've always been a poet, but when I walked in that part of my purpose, I felt so vulnerable, because I was saying words that I wrote and feelings that I had. How was it for you when you started? I mean, I know, but tell the people tell the people.
For me, it was great because, I know that people who don't know me, refer to me as Theo, see me as Theo, and like think that's who I am. And I've always been strong about separating the two. Even
That's right.
at the height of Cosby, when I was signing autographs and people like, put down Theo, and I'm like, no, I'm not Theo.
Right.
So even then, my thing was the trajectory of my life and career is going to be so beyond Theo that I'm never going to be just that.
Right.
So, growing up there, always been like a sense of frustration because people would see me and see Theo. And also, it wasn't just Theo, but it was also the uniform of celebrity that we talked about earlier.
Yes.
Which that uniform, that professional, that hey, how you doing? That guy, that supports and perpetuates and supports the view of me as Theo.
Right.
So, and also because that uniform, I wear every day had become such a part of me.
Yeah.
That, when I would meet people, the uniform is on.
Yeah.
The thing with the poetry was, it was almost like a Jekyll and Hyde thing, because I knew people had this one vision of me, but I knew when they'd hear my poetry and they hear like the shit that really comes out, there'll even be, a much more respect, not just for what I do with the art form, but also like really getting a better glimpse of who Malcolm is versus Malcolm as Theo.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why for me, it's all about that vulnerability. It's all about, the swag. It's all about, you really don't know who the fuck I am.
Yes.
And you have to, and also the swag of, you actually have to listen to my poetry multiple times to really understand who the fuck I am.
That's right.
So there's all of that with the poetry that I love. It's been the thing that has always been my escape from the uniform of celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Yes, it totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Totally makes sense. And yet we don't write to be therapeutic. We don't write to, to journal and those sorts of things. We write because it's in us, and we feel that thing, whatever the thing is that we're writing about, and it's how we feel it. And we both love words. I mean, we are both wordsmiths. We love words. Mm-hmm. And then, Malcolm is a musician. Malcolm is a Grammy winner, and I'm a Grammy nominee. Actually, no, I'm a Grammy winner, but kind of like when you ride the pine for the whole season, but your team win a championship. So the piece I did with Kirk Whalum, In a Whisper, that joint is on his album Round Trip. And he either won a Grammy or got a Grammy nomination. But either way, I'm on it.
You're on it, right. Right.
Unlike you, who you got the hardware, baby. You got the hardware.
Thank you, though. But I will say though that I do think the poetry, I would say the poetry is therapeutic.
Okay.
And that may not necessarily be the approach, because oftentimes, so a lot of times for me, I'll write, and you know, this flow is good. I know this shit sounds good. So I know this sounds good with this.
Right.
And then when I go to do it, there may be some kind of disconnect. There may be more of a performery thing going on than, you know, what the voice really wants to be.
Yeah.
So when I go back,
Wait a minute,
I realize,
did you say the performery?
Yeah, you know, it's you know, it's some, because sometimes, and I think here's the thing, I think sometimes because we are actors, because we come from the theater, because there's also, you know, there's a whole toolbox that comes with our training.
Yes.
That I think sometimes if we're not careful and we're not fully conscious and present to what it is that we are expressing, we can get too performery because we're not really connecting with what the words are there.
That's right.
So in those moments when I go back because I'm not connecting, because I'm feeling I'm doing this as opposed to trusting the words, then I go back and look at the words and realize, oh, I didn't just like that because that sounded good with that and that just really flowed, you know, with great musicality. It's no, I actually feel that. Like those words I wrote don't just sound good. I actually feel those words.
Yes.
So now I've got to go back and realize the therapy of it.
Yes.
And then really connect to what these words really are.
Yeah.
So, because I think there are really dope, dynamic spoken word artists who are not actors, right? So there are things that they can do that doesn't come off performery. It comes off of, that's just a part of who they are and what their flow is. Whereas, you know, we do that very same thing, you know, it comes off performery because and I from experiential knowledge, I know that is from not truly connecting to those words. Yeah.
I'm glad you made the clarification in terms of the therapeutic aspect. It is therapeutic, but like you said, the intention, it's not that you start out that way. You know, it's a byproduct. It's a benefit, I think.
Okay, so I will say this. I'll ask you this.
Yes.
What's your output as a poet when you're upset and venting versus your output when you're just really happy about life and the world is so wonderful? In which state do you write more material?
Yeah. It's probably a balance in terms of when I'm writing, you know, and because I've been doing a lot of different kind of writing all together, I'm in a different space. And so I'm finding that my writing is discovery. Total discovery.
Nice.
And yet, like Fox Soul asked me to do a Mother's Day piece and then do a Mother's Day piece for moms on the front lines and essential workers. And so, you know, I did the Mother's Day piece and I knew what that was. And then when I did the one for the essential workers, I started finding part of that voice was frustration and anger and agitation. And so much so that I then embodied the voice of a mom who would be an essential worker on the front lines and wove that within the piece.
Nice.
You know, so what about you?
Usually
jump on over into the club quarantine and wherever other clubs you're trying to go to. Go on and get them. This will be up for 24 hours.
Oh, D Nice is going at it again?
Yeah.
He's every night?
That I know of.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
I love it.
But back to you and your writing, my dear.
Yeah, most of my output comes from when I'm venting. Need to get stuff off my chest. When I'm not in that space, I have to be more mindful and more thoughtful about what it is I'm writing about. Because if I'm venting, often it'll just come out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's like, blah, 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 and the piece is written.
Yeah.
Whereas other pieces, you know, it'll take me a couple of days, a couple of weeks, a couple of months. I've got a couple of pieces that have been a couple of years that I just not been able to finish. But it's usually, and I never thought about it until you asked me that question. Those are usually the pieces that I'm not writing out of the need to vent. So they become pieces that need to be crafted and shaped, and this part isn't coming to me yet. Maybe it's time to put it down and come back to it. Versus some pieces that I got to get this out. I got to get this out. I got to get this out. I got to get this out.
Right. Yeah. There's lots of questions. People wanted to know if you are still playing the bass. Yes, Malcolm is a phenomenal bass player, all kinds of basses, especially upright bass. I actually took a 2.5-minute upright bass lesson just so I could take a photo. And send it to Malcolm.
My nephew just got an iPhone and realized that he could FaceTime me every day.
So we're finishing up. Mother's Day was yesterday, and you and I were raised by two of the most dynamic women I've ever met. I mean, ever, even if they weren't our moms. You know, really did their thing in terms of single parenting, really did their thing. Oh, sorry, Alexis said, stop trying to look sexy to me. She told me, Kim, stop trying to look sexy. I'm not trying to look sexy, you idiot.
Alexis, go back on timeout, woman.
Damn, she takes my thoughts every time.
Right.
What the hell was I saying? Mothers, yes.
Mothers, yeah.
So, navigating through being a young child, working, being a young male child, can you give us a brief snapshot of you and the mighty Pam? That's his mom, who is just, moms is everything.
Yeah.
Malcolm's moms.
Yeah, my mom is she's dope.
She is, right?
You know, I mean, she's dope.
Yeah.
When I look at how she has raised me, I'm often in awe. It's funny because I just did this this poem. The poem. The dope challenge on my page. On my page, go to my page and check out the I'm So Dope challenge. But there's a line in there where I talk about, like, my most bomb Christmas. I was 5 years old, and my mother only had enough money to buy me 2 toys. And at 5 years old, picked these 2 toys out myself, and I felt like the richest kid around. How you do that to a kid?
Yeah.
As a parent, like,
yes.
You know, as close to my daughter as my daughter, and I don't even know how I would be able to do that.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
My mother just, you know, we were raised in the jungle, Santa Rosalia Drive, you know, Hillcrest Drive, you know, and my mom was like, you know, yeah, we live in the jungle, but we're not of the jungle. You know, there are things in life that we want. So, no, you cannot go hang out with so-and-so and go do what so-and-so wants to do. To be able to be a single mom and just navigate through that, you know, as a kid, because I was always writing, she looked at my creative writing and I always encouraged that. Like one of the reasons I am a poet is because when I was a kid writing, she supported that.
That's right.
You know, I was 6 or 7 years old before Cosby, before acting, and I told my parents I was either going to be a famous actor, a famous poet, or a famous basketball player. And neither my mother nor my father told me that I could not be. Mm-hmm. My basketball game told me I could not be. But I'm 2 out of 3. You know, and you know, my mother, both my parents were really encouraging of me as a writer and as a poet from being a little kid. Mm-hmm. But just for my mother to always, like when I was at Inglewood Playhouse, she found, you know, this thing called acting that I absolutely loved, and that's what I wanted to do. So she would always, there were always certain responsibilities that I had to have done, or I could not go.
That's right.
To the theater. Yeah. So she impressed upon me early on being responsible, taking care of my priorities, doing the things I'm supposed to do before I go out and do the things just because I want to do them. Right. You know, fast forward to, you know, being on the #1 television show, not just in America, but in the fucking world. Yep. And for her to still, you know, to navigate me through that. I mean, here's a kid who's, you know, he's feeling himself, you know, he's a TV star. Yeah. But for her to allow me the space to be that and to be a teenage boy, yeah, to allow me that space, but still be the parent and still be the authority figure. Right there. When right I there. Think about that, how she did it, like I said, I'm in awe. Yeah, yeah. You know, Joe Jackson had to beat his kids. Yeah. And the thing that always, you know, again, I share that awe with you, you know, for my mom, because they were young parents, you know. They weren't like us where they had their children later. They were young mothers. Yeah. And it's like, how y'all even know to do some of this? But here's the thing that my mom and Pam have in common. They never stopped parenting us. Right. Yeah. Hear me, family. They never stopped parenting. You just heard Malcolm say that, you know, that navigating through being on the #1 show in the world, being a coming of age as that whole young man coming of age as a single mom, you've got to navigate that. She never stopped parenting him. Yeah, yeah. And that's the thing. You can be a fan of your kid and all of that, but you have to make sure that you are always the parent first and foremost. 100%. Yeah. You know? Yeah, definitely. Definitely. The Resident. I love you on that show. Thank you. I'm so proud of you on that show. I'm so proud of you. You are doing your thing. You got the crazy dope ass beard game on there. I mean, appreciate it all. I appreciate it all, man. Yes, just doing your thing. And you know, quick shout out for Netflix and my series The Upshaws with Wanda Sykes and Mike Epps coming out at some point. When does it come out? I don't know, because you know we only got 5 in the can before the world went left for a minute. So I don't know. It's sometime this year. But do you still love it? Is that why we're still doing this? Because I still love it. I feel like as long as we've been doing this, there's still so many characters we haven't played. We almost have never worked together. Blair and I were talking about that. How Blair and I have never worked together on camera together. Right. Yeah. We played husband and wife, but exactly. We're never in a scene together. Well, we were never in a scene together. Benjamin Bratt had a show on, and on A&E, and Malcolm and I play husband and wife. We had never had one scene together. We were never on set together. The only way we knew we were in it is we were both like, hey, I think I saw your picture in wardrobe. Yeah. So still doing it, still being in the game. Couple of things. One, it's like Hotel California.
Why you go and do that? You know that's my favorite. You know how that song do. You know how that song.
Because that's what it is, though. That's exactly what it is. We are so deep in this business.
Yes, the cleaner. Thank you. But go ahead.
Oh yeah, Benjamin Show. Yeah. We are so deep into this. Well, I won't speak for you. For me, I'm so deep in this business.
When have you not been able to speak for me? Come on now.
That we are so deep in this business, y'all, that if we wanted to get out of this business, there's nothing else we are qualified to do.
Wait, what?
So I'll go back to me. Speaking for me, if I decided to get out of this business, there's no other profession that's going to garner me the lifestyle that I have that I'm qualified to do. I went to NYU for film. The fuck? I was already working in this business.
Yeah, we both have our degrees in this, but I mean, we can still, I mean, you're a storyteller, you're a filmmaker, you got other things you could do.
I said if I decide to step out of this business, the entertainment business completely.
Yeah, you did.
Step out of the business.
Right.
And go do something else outside of the business. There's nothing else that I'm qualified to do. That's the real. Now, fortunately, I still love it. Fortunately, I had insight enough that when I was, 15, 16, 17 years old, that people are like, oh my God, you're on the #1 show in the world. What does it feel like to be a success? And at 15, 16, 17 years old, I was like, well, this show is successful. Doesn't mean I'm successful. It won't be until I'm 40, 50, 60 years old, can look back and have worked consistently as an actor. It won't be until then that I can look back and say that I've been successful. Because, I mean, this is, again, as a teenager, I was like, all these years on a #1 show means nothing if at 40, I can't get work.
Right.
So for me, I'll be 50 this summer. So for me, I'm now at the place that I was talking about where I can be like, oh, wow, I have had a successful career.
Yes.
I'm nowhere near being in the position where I don't have to work another day in my life. I still got to work. I still got, there's still, the grind is still the grind.
Yes.
But I no longer have to have that concern that I may never work again. So work is not guaranteed.
Right.
But I know I don't have to worry about never working again.
Right.
So
now, family, and don't misunderstand him, and don't misquote him. What he said was
that part.
He didn't feel he was qualified to do something else outside of this industry. He ain't say that he couldn't. That ain't what he said.
I'd have to start at a square one. I'm not really interested in starting that.
But he could if him wanted to. And let me tell you this, what I know. He got tenacity that no matter what, he gonna take care of him and his own.
Yeah, no doubt.
So don't get it twisted, Saints. Yeah. That ain't what he said. But he could still, if he wanted to.
Sure. No doubt. Thank you for clarifying that.
Proceed.
Yeah. But I do love it. I mean, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm doing it because I love it.
Yeah.
And honestly, I couldn't imagine doing anything else that, I've been in this business since I was 9 years old. And to be in a place where I'm still not yet where I want to be, forget I'm not where I want to be financially. I'm not where I want to be as an artist yet.
Creatively.
There's still, as we're growing, as we are evolving as people, we also evolve as artists.
Yep.
So there's still places that I want to go with my art, with my craft, that excites me enough to still love being in this business.
Yes. Ooh, Sister Lisa Price is in here. Hi, sister. We love you.
What's up?
Look at us smiling at her. But that's what I said.
Lisa Hairston.
Right? We both still love we still have the passion in our belly. We still love what we do, but also, again, that we said the same thing and almost didn't hear each other say it. We feel like even though we both started at age 7 and 9, there's still so much we haven't done. There's so many characters that we haven't done. There's so many roles to still play. There's still other genres that we want to be a part of. I'm just now jumping into that dark comic book space. And I mean, there's all sorts of things that we can do now. And to be able to still have the passion to do it, you know, is just, it's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's fantastic. Do you have, and I will let you go. Do you have, we're both known for our comedic work. And yet, you know, this conversation has been, we've had funny moments, definitely, but, you know, we're very serious people, you know, we're very, analytical. We're both very, you know, we process things. We're introverts to a certain extent. All of that said, do you have a, either a funny memory with me over all these years, or just what's your favorite memory?
Wow.
While you're thinking, let me get somebody right quick.
Okay.
Hold on. No. Okay. Who asked this? Wait a minute. Where'd you go? Sun risk something. No, it's not our age that makes us feel like we're not satisfied, at least for me, and I think I can speak for Malcolm. It's not an age thing, and we're not at all saying that we don't feel satisfied. Quite the opposite. There's still more to do. The playing field has opened up tremendously over the last few years. It's no longer just 3 networks. It's no longer just 1-hour dramas and sitcoms. So there's so much more to do, and we still have the passion to want to play. It's like if you're used to a playground only being, you know, having 2 swings and a slide. And then the playground opens up to all these other areas and activities and things. And you might not be 7. Now you're 15, but you still want to go and play. If you can, then bitch, you better go play.
Yeah.
It ain't about not being satisfied.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah.
It's not at all about not being satisfied, because that almost smacks of being ungrateful. And the last thing me and Maljam is ungrateful. Yeah. Not at all. That's not in our lexicon. And it's not an age thing. It's not an age thing. We only utilize our the age card as it relates to wisdom.
Say it again.
Wisdom.
Yeah. Man, there was something I was going to say to piggyback on that. Oh yeah, just the ungrateful. It's not about being ungrateful. It's a lot of it is about not wanting to be satisfied. You know, once that hunger, like when people are on the grind, they're on the grind because they're hungry.
Right.
They're hungry because they want the stardom, or they're hungry because they got bills and mortgages and rent they have to pay.
Right.
There's that hunger.
Yes.
Kim and I, you know, we have never had the hunger to be famous.
That is so true.
You know?
Yes.
So Kim and I, and hear me, we have literally grown up watching everybody come up.
Yes.
95% of the people in this business who are celebrities, they were driven to be celebrities. They had that hunger.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
They may have all the talent, but with the talent, they want to be famous. They want to be
Right.
recognized. We never had that.
Yeah.
So our hunger, since that was never our hunger, there's a hunger that has not been satiated.
Mm-hmm.
So people who, when they get content and they're satisfied, it shows up in their work.
Yes.
They don't have that hunger. They don't have that fire.
Right.
So for us, it's not about being ungrateful. It's about keeping that fire going.
Right.
You know, I mean, we have been. I've had several TV series.
Yep.
But we have been fortunate enough to be on 2 hits. You're lucky to get 1 out this piece.
Say it.
But Kim and I have had 2
yes,
huge long-running series. People would give their career just to have 1 of those experiences.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we've even had that. That's something that could make someone feel satisfied.
Right.
Hunger be satiated, they're good. They've done that.
Yeah.
We're like, shit, where's the 3rd?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's not about being ungrateful. It's about,
right.
I think for us, it's the opposite. It's the gratitude for having the careers that we've had, but this can't be it.
Yeah.
You know, there's so much more. As there's so much more to live for in life.
Yeah.
With that comes there's so much more territory for us to cover as artists.
Right. That's right.
So.
That's right. Did you think of a funny or favorite memory?
Yeah, I have not been able to think of a single memory.
What kind of friend are you? Here I am bragging about our friendship and all these decades and all this carrying on. That's what you come back with?
Hear me out. Not single, like I can't think of any memory, but a single, like one.
Oh, okay.
You know, because we never have a conversation where we're not laughing.
Yeah.
Even in our deepest, you know, strongest venting conversations. Yeah. There's laughter there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And when I think about the depth of our friendship, when I think about the weight that our individual lives have had to carry, and witnessing that in each other's lives, being there for each other during all of those times, you know,
all of them,
pre-Cosby shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know, there's just so much there. I think when I think about you, I think about just where you are now. I mean, you're sane, you know.
Did you say I sing?
I said you're sane.
Oh, sane.
You're sane.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just the way you have navigated life. You know, shit that we'll never even talk about. You know, stuff that you and I won't even talk about anymore. But to see how you have come through so much, so beautifully, standing on your own 2 feet, centered, sane, you know, it's really, I don't say it's an accomplishment. That sounds, that's not the word I'm looking for. It's a really wonderful and once again inspiring thing to see. You know, the life that you've carved out for yourself, just the trajectory is beautiful. And people who know you get it. Like people who are watching this, like, oh, that sounds really sweet, and they're having a moment. Like, yeah, but like you have no idea. You have zero idea.
It is an accomplishment, and I'm not saying that as me, because it's an accomplishment to get to certain ages in life nowadays. It's an accomplishment to do what we do. That right before we were talking to Todd, and to know the history of all of us, and we still here, motherfuckers. We still here, and we're still here because of each other. We're still here because we take the time to talk to each other. We're still here because we take the time to be real with each other and be transparent with each other and to support each other like we were talking about. So that when the yuckiness is there, we can stand in it because we got each other. And yeah, I see you. Somebody talking about the grace of God. Oh my goodness, absolutely. But I also know that the people that I've had on this countdown and the people who are a part of my village is because of the grace that is given to me through each of you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get that.
This time was so important to have with you, of all people.
I feel that, and I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that, and I get it. Like I know it. Like I know it. I know it, and I'm glad that. I'm glad to be the one closing this motherfucker out. It only makes sense.
It only makes sense.
With your whole on Golden Pond thing going on.
Get on out of here next when you're back in production. Shoot.
Man, where are you?
In Georgia.
Oh, are you serious?
Yep.
It's like that?
Yep. Look.
It's like that?
Yep. And I came back out here. This is where I started, but it was too windy earlier. But I came back out here because this is where, while we're ending tonight with you, and big announcement, so listen up, family. Tomorrow, this is where I'm kicking off my birthday in the morning with my mom.
Oh, wow.
Mom has never been on social media. Mom has never been on Instagram. And so she is, she's going to be joining me on here, and we're both going to have our cup of coffee in the morning, and she's going to talk to everybody about my actual birth and my just all whatever Miss Chip Heard wants to talk about. So I wanted to finish up with you, and in this very spot in the morning, your girl Chip will be here.
Is she bringing her? She bringing an iron?
You know, you so nigga. You just so. I can't even get it out. You're so no good for that. Why are you so terrible? Just an ignorant ass.
Just tell her don't bring the iron, Chip.
Did you see when Alexis recreated that?
No.
She got so bored in this damn quarantine. She took one of her son's area rugs and threw it on like mom's fur coat when she returned to Good Times, and just put in all of mom's dialogue.
Is it on her page?
Yes. Vintage Black Glamour. What time tomorrow? I'll put it up tonight because mom's on the West Coast, and so I'll have to let you guys know what time. But tomorrow evening at 5:12 Eastern, 5:12 on 5:12, that's when the party's going down, and all kind of folk gonna be calling in to wish old girl a happy birthday.
Nice.
Yes, I love you, brother. I love you so much.
I love you too, Kim V. I'm so glad that you asked me to be a part of this. Really nice to have this time.
Same.
Face to face, because we're always texting and we don't FaceTime.
I
know.
know.
It's like, oh wow, yeah, this technology is actually.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you're lucky we got this quarantine going on, because we would straight come bum rush your crib.
Okay.
We would come bum rush your crib.
Bring my baby girl over here. That sweet little. But
we ain't leaving.
Y'all on for real lockdown.
But you look like you got enough space where we could do like 6 feet.
We could do
space.
Come on, bring a mask. I got masks, gloves, alcohol, wipes. I mean, listen, we take that thing seriously over here.
Well, we got a 3-year-old. She can't keep a mask on.
Okay, well, yeah.
That's why we're still here in Georgia.
Gotcha. You have a wonderful.
I love you, Kim.
I love you. You're the best.
This is really dope. This is a really dope idea to have the countdown.
Thank you.
Really dope idea.
Thank you. Oh, and speaking of the idea, thank you to my team at SignatureBlendsByKF for sponsoring this. And I really appreciate the support you guys have given the birthday. Thank you very much. So, all right, you. Well, have a good night.
All right, you as well. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Of course.
Yeah. Peace, everybody. Thank you for hanging out and listening to us ramble.
Right. Yes. Give it up, Malcolm Jamal Warner. Yay. The resident star. Yay. Beard game on fleek. Yay.
I'll take it.
I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right. Talk to you tomorrow, babe.
Bye.
Peace.
Okay. Well. Okay. Woo. So, okay. Countdown complete. This has been amazing. The word, my favorite thing. Quincy actually picked it last night. God. We're adding that to the list. So I think that brings us to 10. If I'm not mistaken, that's 10 things. And tomorrow we'll do the last 2 to round out my 12 favorite things. We have a surprise for you guys. On the Signature Blends by KF on our site, we have a birthday bundle with this beautiful mug that we've partnered with Harlem Candle Company to have a map that's on the mugs of the nightclubs in Harlem from back in the day. So it's a beautiful mug and one of our special blends that we created for the birthday. Somebody said, name all the people on the countdown. Check out the post that we did that has all the people. Let me see. Alexis Fields, Yvette Nicole Brown, Blair Underwood, Mindy Cohn, Kim Coles, me with Harlem Candle Company, Nancy McKeon, Erica Alexander, Lisa Welchel, T.C. Carson, Misty Copeland, Johnny Gill, Keenan Thompson. That was Saturday. Tamron Hall, Chris and the Kids, Todd Bridges, Malcolm Jamal Warner. Woo! That is quite the roll call right there. So those are the gifts in my life that I wanted to share with all of you. I'm so glad that you all got something special from them, like I've gotten over the decades. So tomorrow you'll get two more. Again, tomorrow Mom is joining me. Check my post tonight to see what time. But Mom will be joining me in the daytime, in the morning. And then TC, I said TC was on there. Should we talk to no, you know, we'll talk to you guys tomorrow because it's chilly and I want to get inside and make sure that dinner is all groovy. So we will see you guys tomorrow. Here, the sun is setting on, you guys know I collect sunsets. So here's another one for you. You guys take a sacred breath with me. Thank you. Have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow. Happy birthday to me.